through. All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello. Good day, beautiful Black people. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And this neighborhood is the Melanated Air Hour. So for the next hour, you get to come and hang out with all this melanin, all this beauty that is right here as we talk about what's happening in the world from the melanated perspective. I am one of your co-hosts, Lene Javette, at I am Lene Javette. I don't do this by myself, though. The Melanated Air Hour has 4 and sometimes 5 beautiful Black women. Our co-hosts today are going to be Teddy Ewing at The Real Teddy Talks. Make sure you guys go check her out and follow her. Also, Miss Keisha Ravenel at We Inspire Brand, no S, We Inspire Brand. And Miss Faye Bishop at Miss Faye Bishop in the house today with us on Thursdays. You can always see her on Thursdays. And we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. If you want to watch the Melanated Air Hour live, tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2. You can always watch the replays because they are just as fresh and dope. The energy is high. The conversation is dope. And we literally do this for you. All of us are entrepreneurs in some type of way or fashion. So we're looking at the world from a melanated perspective with the entrepreneur twist, a business twist, a life twist. And today, we are looking at the art of the Black woman, the body, the essence of the Black woman, and all of our beauty and what we do and who we are and how we're exposed to the world. Is it an expression or is it exploitation? Today, the conversation budded out of the Meek Mill's album cover. And you have either seen it or you've heard about it in the news. Faye is the one who brought it to us, so I'm going to let her open and introduce the conversation and bring us up to speed for those of you that may not be familiar with what is happening relative to the Meek Mill's album cover. Okay? Go ahead, Faye.
Hello, everyone. So what's been going on is that Meek Mill has been catching backlash over his expensive paint album cover art, and it's a colorful cover art which was painted by the artist Nina Chanel Abney. She's an abstract painter, and it features figures of what looks to be palm trees. There's dice, there's dollars, there's a police vehicle. I think there's a man on there with a tear or a tattoo in his eye. Unsure about that. But what seems to stick out to a lot of people are the naked Black women, including some who are bent over with their legs open. You can see pink, which clearly represents a vajayjay on one of the women. And ironically, the controversy behind this album cover is stirring more conversation than Meek Mill's album itself. And it stems from the fact that this cover is being plastered across boats in Miami, billboards in Times Square, and even the sides of trains and buses in Atlanta. There has been a very, very crazy viral video where this white guy is literally screaming, "Is this what you want, Black woman? Look what Meek Mill is doing to you." You know, he's basically showing everyone that Meek Mill is exploiting Black women on his album cover to sell records, obviously. And the white guy, whom everybody seems to be more mad at than they are at the actual art, is like, "Look at this. This is disgusting. Is this what you want, Black women? Is this what you want?" And for me, being the art geek that I am, I had to research the artist to find out where exactly did the inspiration for this album cover come from. Because if it is about the album's material, which is clearly, I guess, liquor, money, cash holes, or whatever it is he feels he's talking about. I don't have to admit, I don't own expensive paint. I don't listen to current rap artists or anything like that. But even if that's the inspiration, strippers come in all colors. Why did you choose Black women? And that's the question that I have. Do we think this kind of imagery contributes to the degrading of Black women?
So that's a great question. I'm going to let the audience start chiming in the comments. If you have an opinion or you would like to answer Faye's question, please post your comments in the chat. We want to know what you think. Okay. Hey, Madam President, welcome. Does anybody want to start answering that question? Anybody want to take that one?
I do. First, let me preface this with my internet still might be cutting out. So church finger if you can't hear me. Now, if you can't see me, if you can't hear me, church finger.
Okay.
I will, while you guys are in the comments and kind of going off on that, I also had to really dig deep and figure out why it made me feel angry or made me feel exploited, right? So the Black women up there naked is beautiful, but we've been portrayed that exact way in that, like, what is the word? Like raw, native look, you know, bushman kind of look, jungle look, I was thinking, and then the stripper pole. It made me feel exploited because that's immediately what I thought when I saw it. However, looking at it from an artistic standpoint, and other white females that have been in art in Europe, you know, all over Europe, Asia, it made me question, is this a personal issue that I'm having with my body and our bodies being on a bus, or is it really exploitation? So I'm not answering the question. I'm just saying, while you're thinking about it, think about that portion as well. Are our naked Black bodies beautiful? Or are they something that we should not want anyone to see? You know, is it artistic? Can it be artistic? That's another question I'm proposing. So I'm not answering it. I'm just putting that out there.
More questions. So the easy answer is yes. Our bodies are beautiful. Blackness is beautiful. Melanin is beautiful. Should the world love it? Yes. Should we love it? Yes. Should it be seen? Yes. I'm going to be fighting with my light today. I can feel it already. Should we be seen? Yes, absolutely, we should. Should we be seen as beautiful from an expression standpoint? Yes, absolutely. Should we be exploited? No, we should not. So then the question becomes, I guess I'm asking another question. Where is the line between expression and exploitation?
Yeah.
God, just another question.
It's so many questions. It's like, oh my God, because I also think about the intention behind it, right? So if the intention is for it to be beautiful and for it to shine a light on how beautiful us Black women are, then yes, it's artistic, right? But then if the intention is like, yeah, look at these hoes, right? Like, then that's like, whoa, like, what are you doing, right? So I don't know. I think it could be both at the same time, maybe depending on how you're looking at it. For me, I don't like it, right? I just, and that's my personal opinion, my personal preference. I don't like it. It being on an album cover is one thing, because it's like, oh, like, if you like Meek and whatever, you can get the album. Well, people don't actually go out and buy CDs anymore, right? I'm like, oh, you can go out and purchase the album. Like, they're not doing that. But then when you have it on buses going around town and trains, and I think, Faye, you mentioned billboards, it makes me think, okay, wait, what is the intention? What is the agenda? So now I'm like, wait a minute, like, what's going on here? Because it's one thing, like I said, for it to be on an album cover, but now when it's going all around town, it's like, it makes me question it.
Okay. You're on mute, Madam President. You're on mute. I can't hear. You're on mute. We can't hear you.
Okay, I just want to say, like, hey everybody, first of all, and I just want to say that I personally, I get everybody's sentiment, right, when it comes to how they feel regarding the bus, and I feel like you guys are posing great questions, and I also believe that the biggest issue is that after that bus ride passes, there isn't another bus with women from Melanated Air on there. I think what's happening is there is two the forefront of the images is just these women and these things, and there's an imbalance. See, white women have the privilege of being not exploited but showcased in so many different lights. So it's to the point where when you see them, you know, they can be thin, they can be thick, they can be mothers, they can be firefighters, they can be all these things. But then for some reason, when white supremacy want to green light something for us, we just got to be, you know, we got to be the naked version, the exploited version. And I think that's the issue, because I think we had the conversation previously where, hey, we do have sisters that strip. We do have sisters that do this. And, you know, they still welcome to the All Black National Convention. You know what I'm saying? But it's just not who we all are. So I think the representation, there's a huge imbalance when it comes to representation. Now, the hardcore reality is, what's the expectation behind a rapper? What's the expectation behind a rapper, former drug dealer, you know, prisoner that hasn't, you know, pretty much been reborn? What's the expectation? You know, I don't think you're going to have Meek Mill straight up spitting, you know, Dr. Boyce Watkins and Clark Anderson, you know, lyrics until he's reborn, until that becomes a part of his life. So I think that we are not a monolithic people. And I feel like what is important for us as a people is that we got to start shedding the shit that they keep putting on us. Like, we can't keep on being like receptive and accepting into like, oh yeah, that's Black women. No, that's her. That's my sister. That's her. But let me tell you what my issues are. Let me tell you where I stand. You know, the sister who straight up knew, that's her. But I think that what happened is we just been grouped. That's it. We just grouped. And I feel like we got to have a space where where Meek Mill and his audience, that's for them. Melanated Air, that's our people, that's for us. You know, but we still have one common goal of collective, you know, empowerment and betterness.
I like that. Faye, you're muted.
So you're saying, oh, go ahead. Sorry, babe. You're muted.
I think
there we go. Sorry. I just feel like abstract art has a time and place. And I'm very glad that Madam President brought up the imbalance. You know, there's this and there's that. The problem is that's not being distinguished a lot in our community. And that's why I brought up the fact that abstract art has a time and place. We have pictures in our home. You know, my mom and mommy had pictures, certain types of Black art hanging in their home where the woman may have been topless, or you have maternity shoots where some women have the belly exposed or parts of their body are bare, and different things like that. But it's art, right? It's art. But is there any type of abstract art that shows us in a different light? And those are the pictures we don't see. You know what I mean? And like Madam President brought up, you have the imagery of Meek Mill's album on a bus, but where's the photographs and the pictures of melanated air women or fly Nubian queen women on another bus? And the thing about it is that this album is being used to promote problematic, drug-filled, violent, and degrading music, obviously. I'm just going to say, I tried so hard to research exactly where Nina got her inspiration from for that photo, for that painting, because as an art geek myself, there's always inspiration. But if we're going to go with what inspired Meek Mill use it, who is who we have to go off, we have to look at what his album is about, which is clearly drug-filled, violent, degrading music, how he sees women, how he sees life, how he sees money, how he earns his money, and whatever. And when you put it in that context, you have to really ask yourself, is this something we want children to see? Would that be the kind of photo you would hang in your home for your children to see? Would his album with that cover art be the kind of album you would want your children to listen to? If the answer is no, we have a problem, because we're normalizing a lot of sickness out here, and it speaks to our mindset where we are.
Exactly. I think it's planting a seed, because when you let children see that, They start to see themselves. You see yourself in art. You see yourself in billboards and expression and fame and things on TV. And that is not what I want my kids to see. As a matter of fact, I had looked at one of his singles called Love Train. And I think Love Train is actually the story of that art, that particular scene of him falling in love with someone. She starts stripping and cheats on him or something. I mean, but my kids that came in the room and I turned it off because I don't even want them to see that art. Like, it's ridiculous. So the next question is, who paid for that art, that album cover to be on that bus? Who's funding that? And what is their agenda? Because I doubt Meek Mill had any say in that art being on that bus. I think the person who's backing that wants to portray women in that fashion. And that's why they funded it on buses and boats and bus stops and all these other things. So we have to be outraged. We have to be as outraged as that white man was, saying, is this what you want, Black women? No, this is not what we want. It's unfortunate that there wasn't a clip of a Black man doing that. And it may exist. A Black man may have said that and asked those same questions. But the viral was this white dude doing it. But the question and the answer is the same. No, I don't want this. And I ain't mad at that white man for asking that question because he's stating the obvious as far as I'm concerned. So I ain't mad at him at all. And I'm mad at the art, not him.
And the question has to be proposed. The question has to be asked. I like what Madam President was saying with regards to there needs to be a balance. I definitely agree that there should be a balance, right? There should be a variety. Black women should be seen in a variety of different ways, right? And we kind of had this conversation in the background. I'm not against nudity, right? I'm not against nudity. I'm not against the maternity pictures when you cover your breath. I'm not against any of that. I'm against being vulgar, right? I believe that the body is beautiful. I believe you can show it. I believe if you've seen titties, you've seen titties. I believe if you've seen vagina, you've seen vagina. Like it is what it is. It's how it's presented to you, right? Playboy is still around all these years because they call it classy. Nobody's tripping on the fact that somebody is in there and they're naked because it's classy or it's sexy. I'm not against classy. I'm not against sexy. I'm against vulgar. I'm against exploitation. I'm against somebody's child or daughter seeing something and looking at it and feeling a certain kind of way about it. I'm against looking at something and me feeling a certain kind of way. I'm a full-grown Black woman. So for me to look at something and see it and have it make me feel like here we go again. Like my sisters, my queens, my community, yet again being disrespected, exploited, seen in a negative light, and it being okay because it's for profit, because it's under the guise of art. That's what I'm not okay with.
And ladies, that brings me to the question. It's a whole bunch of questions today, right? That brings me to the question, is it the responsibility of a Black artist to censor what they put out there in order not to offend, right? Because we're a very vulnerable community. So like in order to not offend, in order for children to be able to look up to them, or not even look up to them, but not be exposed to that sort of thing, right? So is it their responsibility? Like, what do you think?
And I'll take that one step further and say they would have never let the representation of a white woman in those same positions be on the side in no doggone city bus. I am 100%
No, they would not.
That would never have happened.
They would not.
And
In
that
fact,
is where the outrage has to come. I think Tasha Rogers said it. It's being forced on us to see. I'm standing out here waiting for my bus to go to my JOB, and I got to look at this mess. I'm out here with my kids and have to cover their eyes because they're like, what is that? My son will be like, what is that, mommy?
Right.
I shouldn't have to answer those questions, and not only for us. So that even makes me more angry about it.
And the thing is,
I think that.
Go ahead, Faye.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was
gonna say it's a very good point. And Keisha, you brought up a very excellent point and asking a very important question. Is it on the fault of the artist? At what point do we hold them accountable for this? Because Black women have the right to demand better. in terms of protecting our image, regardless of what that may look like to other people. We do have the right to demand that. So, in my opinion, if we could, which has happened before, boycott Lil Wayne or Rick Ross for mentioning something about putting Molly in someone's drink in a record. Just it necessary, and they didn't even use the word black in front of a woman. They just said in the record that they drugged women, and it gave off the rapey vibe that obviously was a part of the whole Me Too thing. If they can do that for that, then we can demand better in terms of our imagery. And yes, it is on the part of the artist. And that's why I said I have to know from Meek Mill what was the inspiration, because if the goal here is simply to sell records, then we don't need to be buying it. And that'll tell him better on what kind of imagery to use next time. The point is we need to demand better, because I feel like it's not going to let up until we do. And we have to pick a fence, because one of the things that I noticed in the comments on Twitter particularly, because I'm more so on that platform than any of the others, is that a lot of the outrage seemed to have come about the hue of the man who was calling out the viral video versus the name of the artist and both the rapper and the artist who painted it and decided to use it on their album cover. It wasn't their hue. I don't have time to worry about what white people are doing or calling out. We got to G-check our people. And I feel like there needs to be a checking of this, because there's a special kind of disrespect that seems to be preserved for Black women. And we're picking and choosing, well, no, Lizzo wearing this is okay. But no, we don't want Meek Mill doing that on the album. But no, it's good today. But no, you have to pick a fence. What do we want in terms of our imagery? And should we be demanding better? And should we hold these artists accountable? I feel we should.
Yes. That's absolutely the truth, because the thing that I've been seeing is, well, it was a Black woman, as if that makes it okay. But it's not okay if it's a Black woman. I don't care if she was purple, green, blue, yellow, orange. It's never okay to exploit, degrade, be disrespectful to Black women, especially if you are a Black woman. I feel like, how dare you? Mm-hmm. We almost expect it from everybody else, but when we start expecting to be disrespected and degraded by our own people, that's a problem. That's a serious problem. If you get a job in a position to do something for your people in your community, I would hope that somebody looks at it as an opportunity to do something with some grace and something that's uplifting and empowering. To use your power, your art, your passion, your talent, your blessing to, I'm going to steal this line, punch down on Black women. I can't. It's Meek Mill's fault, yes, but it's the artist's fault too.
Yes. And I think you have
the artist is a Black woman.
Well, it's the Black woman's fault too.
She is taking, okay, so the crazy part is when I saw her as the artist for this album, I was like, wow, her name is Nina Chanel. Now, what I've noticed about art collecting, Black folks, rich Black folks and art collecting, right? I think it's a classist thing. Poor people ain't walking around collecting Black art. It ain't happening. But what I have noticed is rich folks, high upper middle class folks, they go and they collect this art. So this artist, Nina Chanel, she's one of those artists that's a Black artist that has made her way into the art industry, respected amongst her peers, probably make a good killing for a painting. When she releases something, it's completely sold out very quickly. She even did some things with Uno. They released some cards, probably $60, $80 Uno cards that you can resell for $120, I'm sure, right? Mm-hmm. So when I was thinking about it, I said, now she's a Black woman. He solicited a Black woman to create art representing his Black world. I don't think it's for all of us. I think it's for him, his world, his supporters, what he's going through. Isn't that what all the art is? they said Mona Lisa was beautiful. We all saw Mona Lisa and didn't think so, you know? So it's like, I believe that, you know, the two of them have a right to depict this certain artist. I don't believe I have to wear it. I'm trying. Like, if this is, I feel like, and this is what's crazy, because I feel like this is what W.E.B. Du Bois talked about, double consciousness. A Black man cannot exist without navigating through two worlds. A white world, which gave Meek Mill millions of dollars, right? Millions of dollars. You got a dream, you got something to say, we got music, we got studio time, we're going to give you what you need. And then the Black world, us, you know, we got to say, no, that's not how you handle that kind of opportunity. It's almost an impossible space to navigate. So I'm at a space where today, because I don't know if I'm gonna be like this next Thursday, you know, but I'm at a space today where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give him some grace. You know, I'm not a Meek Mill fan. If Meek Mill was having a concert, I don't think either one of us would show up. It's not for us, you know.
I don't know.
For me, this is a guy who said that Lori Harvey is on his bucket list or wish list or whatever you call it. Do you honestly think that Steve Harvey or Lori Harvey would allow Meek Mill to plaster her on his cover art fully nude and naked so that it can be exploited in all sorts of ways across a bus, a billboard in Times Square, in front of kids, or anything like that? See, I think for me, and I get what you're saying, Chanel, but I got to push back a little bit, because I think we pick and choose what side of the spectrum when it comes to art that we are holding grace for, and what's, in other words, what's tolerated and what's not tolerated in terms of, you know, when it comes to exploitation of Black women. Because I just don't think Meek Mill would do something like this, you know, to a woman he loves, to any of his daughters. I don't know if he has any other kids or anything like that. And this is me speaking about my hometown boy, because we both from Philly. Like, I just don't think he would have that kind. We're asking for grace for him, but would he do this to his daughter? Would he do this to his mother? Would he be okay if someone did that to his mother? Would he be okay if someone decided they wanted to do that with his daughter? Would that be okay? And again, this is a guy who just said Lori Harvey is on his bucket list. Do we honestly think he would do something like that to her? And that's why I said, if the answer is no to those kinds of questions, then why would you want to do it to somebody else's kid? Why would you, not saying that, you know, that's who that is on the cover, but why would you want to do that to Black women, period, and exploit it? And that's why I say we have to demand better in terms of the imagery we want out there, because what I'm seeing going on, at least the vibe I got from the painting, which is the same vibe I get when I look at Lizzo, I'm seeing modern day Sarah Bartman complex going on. And for many people who are not familiar with her, she was a South African woman who was exhibited as a freak show attraction in 19th century Europe under the name Hottentot Venus. Okay, she is also one of the first Black women who was known to be subjugated to human sexual trafficking. And she died at the tender age of 26. And the Sarah Bartman story is often regarded as like the epitome of racist colonial exploitation and the commodification of the dehumanizing of Black women and Black people. But when you look at people like Lizzo and you look at that abstract art that Meek Mill has on his album cover, it's the same thing. If you look at the pictures, it's just a modern day version of it. Yeah. And it's like, we would look at what happened with Sarah Bartman, and oh my God, if you guys read her story, the things that they would do to her was so disgusting, because they had her in a freak show exhibit in like the early 19th century carnivals that would travel across Europe. If you look at that and you look at some of these over-sexualized rappers, and I don't need to go there on the Meg Thee Stallions and Cardi B's alike, and you look at that and you just think about the Sarah Baartman story, which would discuss us all, but we're looking at Meg Thee Stallion and what she's doing as okay. We're looking at Lizzo and saying, go ahead, girl, body positivity. But we're looking at the Sarah Baartman story and we're thinking of the racist colonial exploitation. So we need to pick a fence about where do we want to be and what direction we want to go in terms of the Black women and art and expression and exploitation and the balance between the two, and get there and actually stay there, because it's like it's a complex that's going on. That Sarah Baartman complex I'm witnessing is very real, and it's everywhere, and it's Black women only. It's literally Black women only. There are no white versions of Meg Thee Stallion. There are no Asian versions of Cardi B. There are no Indian versions of Lizzo. So we need to decide about what it is about our image we want to protect, and we need to pick that fence, and we need to really stay there. And Meek Mill, I need him to be a lot more clear about how he feels about Black women, because again, I doubt if this was Lori Harvey, would he have done something, who's a woman he's crushing on hard, would you do something like that? No, you wouldn't. And if the answer is no, don't do it to somebody else's daughter. Don't do it where it offends other Black women.
I think we also have to understand collectively that it's not only white people that contribute to white supremacy. So I wonder how people would have felt if it was a white artist that painted that, right? Then it would have been an outrage. But because it was a Black woman, it's like, oh no, it's okay because she's Black. And it's just like, well, no, you don't have to be white to contribute to white supremacy, right? There are a lot of Black people that are contributing to us staying where we are. So we have to look at that too. And the whole issue with like Lizzo, and I see people like, oh, well, when Rihanna does it, it's okay. But when Lizzo does it, it's not okay. It's not okay, because there is a time and a place for everything. There is also a body type for everything, right? Like even me, I'm small, right? I'm a petite little thing, but there are certain things that I cannot wear because it does not look good. It's not flattering. And I'm sorry, but it's not flattering on Lizzo. And it is what it is. Like, sorry to say, beautiful woman, beautiful, a voice and very talented. But why are you doing the things that you are doing? And I feel that a lot of it is for this attention. There is an agenda. And I actually had to check myself, right? Because the picture that she wore the see-through outfit to Cardi B's birthday or something. That's what we were talking about in our chat. And I was just like, oh, here we go again. But I'm like, damn, she did wear it to a party. So maybe I can give her some grace with that. But a few years ago, when she showed up with her ass out to a Lakers game, that was not okay. Like, there is a time and place for everything. When she's on this TED Talk talking about, yeah, I'm twerking for my ancestors and the church ladies, that is not okay. And it's like, and as Madam President said earlier, there's no balance. Like, where is the balance? This is not all that Black, like, this is not this is the representation of Black women. And this is what people are seeing. They're not seeing us. And I would be a liar if I said I didn't listen to Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, because I do, but I'm grown. I'm grown and I make my own decisions and I can separate that, right? But going back to our children, they should not be exposed to that. So all of that to say is that, like, we do need to check these things. Yes, grown people, if you want to listen to it and make your own decision. But then when it comes to our babies and these people being on TikTok, and I remember Lizzo was on TikTok doing something very just inappropriate, where these are where the kids play, right? We play on Facebook, we play on Instagram. Those are our virtual playgrounds. But TikTok, that's where the kids are. So you're doing that on TikTok for what? Like, what is the agenda? So it's more than just white people, and they know this, and that's why we have these people, and they give these people the money, as Madam President said earlier, and they put them on these pedestals and things like that, because they know, like, oh, we don't have to push that agenda anymore. The Black people, they're doing it themselves. Like, we could sit
Yeah.
back and allow the Black people to push the white supremacy agenda now.
Well, some of it's the white people pushing the some of it is that. So what we have to realize is that it's all a marketing ploy. All of it is a marketing ploy, and we control what's marketed to us. Okay, so there's a couple of different things that were said, right? We talked about target market. There is a market for everything, which is why this stuff exists. Somebody's buying the album. Somebody likes it. Madam President said somebody wants the art up in their house. There is a market for it, which is why they create it. The other thing is, I think Madam President said, the Black artist created this work, so we have to go back and speak to the artist. Well, they would never create this type of art from a white artist, because we would be enraged if a white woman or a white man created this type of art. But when a Black woman does it, we're like, maybe it's okay, or we're having conversations about who's responsible. That's part of the agenda.
Yeah.
That's part of the agenda. They know that there's going to be less outrage when it comes from us. We're going to have more of a conversation about who it came from than what's in the picture, than what's being depicted. And so that's why they allow us to feed ourselves this type of crap. Going back to the specific artists, the thing that I would say is we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I want to make sure that that's clear. We're not canceling the artists. We're not canceling her as a woman, as a Black woman, as an artist. We are asking for accountability to the art. But then that goes back to expression and exploitation and target market. We recognize that there's a target market for that. So the question then becomes, when do we as a community, as a people, decide what we want marketed to us? Because if you don't show up for it, if you don't buy it, if you don't allow them to make sales, they will stop creating it. If you look at the music today, where's the love songs? Where's the R&B?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the soul? Where's the Lauryn Hills of today? Everything is rap. Everything is misogynistic. Everything is super centralized and sexualized. Like, that's by design. You think about the fact that we don't see as much love. Where's the love songs? Where's the Black people? All we see and hear are the things that desensitize us, that would allow the mainstream society to put an image of this album out and think that it's okay. Because the Black people's sensitivity radar is lowered. They're not going to trip. Plus, a Black woman did it. It's okay.
We are desensitized. We are desensitized to so much. We're desensitized to murder and seeing our Black men dead in the street, and seeing our Black men get arrested and harassed by cops, and seeing over-sexualized women, and seeing ourselves put out there. The buck stops here. We have to draw the line. We are saying we don't support it. Everyone else needs to say the same thing. They don't support it. And we need to be outraged and outward about it. Let's not forget, 2 years ago, we were trying to free Meek Mill because he was being sent back to jail on a probation charge over something silly. The whole community gathered to get this brother out of jail and not have to go back to prison for breaking his probation for like riding a moped or motorcycle or something. And this is what he gives us in return. We have to say heck no, and we have to draw the line. And it's so sad because on the YouTube where his album is, where you can hear all of his tracks, and that album covers on every single track, the whole track, dancing around palm trees and the woman in her cartoon way dancing, very Sarah Bartman-ish. There are people loving it. They're eating it up. They want it. They want more and more of it. And I'm like, we have to stop it. Everybody can't come to the awakening, okay? So everybody's not going to be on this path. But we who are in the comments and are on Melanated Air and listening to this, we have to draw the line and say that it has to stop. What is it? With great power comes great responsibility. These Lizzos and Meek Mills and Cardi B's and Meg Thee Stallion, they really probably don't know better. They like the money. They like the fame. So it's our responsibility to say what's acceptable or not, and they will conform to what we want and what we'll tolerate, not the other way around.
Well, I believe that we are so far behind in The same things was the 90s, you know, with the hip hop when it was making this progressive way to mainstream. You know, it was always this big issue. Nelly swiped the woman's. He used his credit card to swipe it down a woman's butt. That was the thing. I believe that these things, because we're hitting the wrong target often. It is old white men who's signing artists, but somebody's buying the music. So the issue is it's working. We can have as many marches as possible, but somebody's getting rich off of this stuff. So the reason that I think Lizzo and Sarah Barman are different is because Sarah didn't have a choice. Lizzo chose to walk outside in nudity.
Chooses.
Yes, she chooses. She's like making a conscious decision every day. Yeah, I'm wearing this sequence today. I don't give a damn. I'm wearing this. Now here's the vulnerability from my end. As a fat Black woman who is tall, who's overweight, and who's Black, I think a society puts a heavy pressure on how you should be, right? So I think her level of rebellion, it's not mine. It's not mine. I don't take it on. You know, I don't think you go around showing your butt. You know, I don't want to go to a Lakers game and see Lizzo's ass. I don't feel like that is empowering. That's not my level of empowerment, you know. But you know, I don't know why Lizzo does it, but I think that kind of outrage in the world of celebrity, you know, keeps people talking. This shit is a high. These artists, they are under pressure like somebody at Starbucks trying to keep the coffee warm, okay? They are under the same level of intensity with keeping a freaking job. They are constantly trying to figure out how to stay in the media, how to get attention, how to draw outrage. It works sometimes, and sometimes it's just like, God damn, is that necessary? But I'm gonna tell you a story. I have a friend. She went to do a video with was one of the rappers. She went to do a video with one rapper, I want to say Waka Flocka. She said she goes to the video shoot. This is one of my dear friends. She's a director. She goes to the video shoot and everything's popping. She's like, and the energy is so sexual. You know, guys are like, y'all turn around, let me see. And she just said that she wanted to be a part of the video. She said, but she just said, I couldn't be a part of the video that way. She said, so I was a little embarrassed. She said, but I went over to one of the guys who had the microphone on. She said, I just told him, she said, hey, I want to be a part of the video, but I don't want to be a background girl. I don't want to do anything. Can I help out? Can I, you know, be a part of the video in some kind of way? And he was like, all right, cool. We're going to let you can come, you know, work 2 days. And she got hired as a PA. That story made no news whatsoever, right? And guess what? She didn't get a chance to have her ass out in the video because she had made a conscious decision that I just don't want to be a part of it this way. So I believe we got a lot of women that walk into spaces and feel just like her, but don't know how to navigate what space they want to be on. So like what I'm doing, I'm trying to do better at, because when I look at some of the giants and some of the greats that have maneuvered their way from, you know, like, you know, Malcolm used to be on drugs and pimping and perming hair and everything else. But there was a time where he just says that, you know, I got better. And he, instead of just pretty much like hounding everybody, you ain't like me, you ain't like me, you ain't for me. It was just like, oh, that's my brother, that's my sister, you know, come over to my side. But there's a harsh reality that a lot of our brothers and sisters are in the fourth stage of cancer. They're grown people making grown decisions on a deadly life, and it's over. This train, this melanated air train, is for folks who got some level of consciousness and common sense about themselves.
Yes.
We on a different bus. So when it's time to get to going, when we in motion, our train gonna be chewing in a different direction.
Everybody can't come.
Exactly. But, I'm not here
You're
to
giving her the gas face, like, ah!
I'm not here to dismiss everybody that's on that train. I was like, damn, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B's and all these other women. I listen to Rhapsody and I'm like, oh my God, damn, Rhapsody Cole, she's good. I went to a concert. It was a small venue, but she, ain't as big as them. But she ain't showing her breasts and her vagina. But let me tell you something. The lower vibrations is in a multitude of millions. People operate off that. People are living in that space, but I am not joining them. That's why we come in. That's why we come in and we go join the red carpet with the Lizzo. What's up, Lizzo? You got your ass out. Girl, that's not me, but and then guess what? When Lizzo come around, Madam President, we're going to talk about white supremacy. We're going to talk to her about Sarah. Damn, I didn't even know about Sarah. Well, this level of consciousness is an introduction. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay. I just Lizzo for me, and I even have to say, Lil Nas X and all that would probably not bother me if these two people, among many others, didn't see themselves through the same lens that white America does, and they feel they have to act according to the mammy and hot Venus lens that white America wants to see us through. Funny, Black, I would say entertainment period is global. It's not something that the images that we see on TV is not just shown here in America. It's shown all over the world. In fact, for many cultures, what's on TV is their introduction into Blackness. And that's why it's so important for us to show the Queen Latifahs, the Octavia Spencers, and, the Gabby Sidibe's, in addition to the Lizzos. You know what I mean? So I noticed that Monique, as long as she was saying skinny bitches were evil and was yelling, hey, professor, everybody loved her. But the moment she began professing and challenging the status quo, she became problematic. That very white supremacist industry that glorified her helped to take her down. And one of our very own sisters and brothers was a part of that pack. Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey. So that's why I say, it's a shame that we have, the Lil Nas X and the Lizzos out there doing what they have to do in order to get money. But we don't have enough Moniques who are saying, no, that payday is not worth me doing X, Y, Z. And I feel as though that's the balance that we need that will even out this space. I think that is what would, challenging the status quo is what will be the takedown of us taking back what is ours in terms of our Black image. Because we're normalizing sickness. It's everywhere. And it's like back in the day growing up, we had TV and we had radio. They always did that saying, if video killed the radio star, it did, because the moment that these images got inserted, it got worse and it got worse, and it's getting progressively worse. But unfortunately, we don't have enough people. We don't have enough of the Moniques out there. It's just too much Lizzo. It's too much Cardi B. It's too much Meg Thee Stallion. We don't have anyone saying, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. As Madam President said, I'm not, you making the conscious decision to say, no, that's not for me. It's just too many. And it is, speaking as someone who works in the casting industry and puts out some of these casting calls, many of which I've had to turn down because they're so exploitative for certain movies. I know that right now we're in a social space, the social climate that we have out here, which is full of people on social media who want to be famous. they want to be on somebody's Love and Hip Hop Housewives of something. And when they're not dating and trying to do all that, they're trying to be in somebody's movie or somebody's rap video. And we have to really, really connect. If there has to be a middle ground where we meet to connect to say, listen, set a standard. There has to be a standard where we're saying, no, I'm not going to do that, because there is the marketing teams out there that are saying Black people don't want this. Black people want that. Right now, there are over 6 or 7 different TV shows on TV about Black people either selling crack or smoking crack. All this Ghost and Power, Empire, BMF and Snowfall and all of that going on. And it's just like, yo, this gotta stop. This isn't 1991, man. No.
Can anybody name a positive Black show on TV right now? I mean, we have the Cosbys, we had Different World, we had Family Matters, we had Martin, we had
other than the Equalizer with Queen Latifah, where she's acting as the superhero cop. I honestly can't see. I don't see it. I honestly don't. Everything is some sort of reality show, or it is sort of Black people who are living in poverty, or it's somebody selling crack.
They have.
What about Blackish?
Will Smith is
Blackish. I think I love Blackish.
Blackish.
Yes, Blackish is one. But you know what? In addition to Blackish, there's The Neighborhood too, with Cedric the Entertainer, I think it is, and Tashina Arnold.
Yeah, I don't watch that show.
I don't watch it either. But back in the day, there was a different kind of balance that covered the fluff. It was like you had the fluff, because everybody's going to have the fluff somewhere. But there's just too much fluff now. And it's so bad. You have it being banned in other countries. I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. China actually banned hip hop cultures and actors with tattoos from appearing on their television and in their media. Did you guys know that? So they're taking control of what gets shown in front of their kids. We're not.
I didn't know that, but I do know from when we lived in Japan, I lived in the Middle East. I think one of you said it, I can't remember who. The TV, the reality shows is what they think we are. Right. So when they see me and my husband, they think we're like a rapper. They think he's a basketball player. They think, I'm shaking my head and snapping my fingers and doing, and it's so sad, because then I have to be who I felt like I've been my whole life, is the representation of Black people, and say, no, all Black people aren't like this. And that's a lot of pressure. And again, we have to draw the line. We can't stop it because we're not in the power place to stop it. But we can draw the line, as Faye said. We need to pick the side of the fence and stay there for everything. And we can move forward from that.
I think now is the time to demand it too, especially since so many people are quitting their jobs. Like I work with I'm a very close, there's a talent manager who I am very, very close friends with. And she actually made a video. Follow her if you can. Her name is Tiana Jackson of the Jackson Agency. She has worked with so many different showrunners and helped to cast some of the talent for some of these showrunners. And she brought out an interesting point to me the other day when she spoke about how, with what's going on with this pandemic and public health and public safety and all that, what's happening in Hollywood and what most of these companies are doing with all of us is they got us injecting ourselves with things, because of health and safety. They have us thinking that this is for our protection, but on the back end of that, they're still treating you like shit. They're still casting you in a certain way. They're still putting you on the back of the lot and telling you, barely giving you bread and water. They're still paying you the minimum wage salary. They're still keeping certain images on TV. And she spoke about that. And I thought when, that conversation I had with her was so profound, because it made me think of how people were walking off the Southwest Airlines employees are leaving because of what's going on with this pandemic and how these employees and these people are demanding so much more. And I think that now would be a good time to start utilizing and taking back some of our power in that same aspect as everybody is doing with this pandemic, because now is the time. You got a lot of people that are leaving and quitting jobs because they feel like, I don't want to do that. You're not going to make me stick myself with that. We could do the same thing with our Black image.
Yes.
They need us more than we need them, if you really, really think about it.
Yes.
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 We are the trendsetters.
Yeah.
We are the global brands. We are the movers and the shakers. We are the folks that people emulate and want to be like.
Yes.
We are the ones that folks is out here getting their injections and their rear ends for, their bosoms lifted up. Like, but they want to be us so bad. And yet we want to be somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we don't have to take back power. We have all the power. We have it right now. We just don't know it.
Right.
We have the power. All we have to do is say no. Hell no. If everybody says hell no, things will change immediately. Immediately.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Crystal Johnson said, amen. Amen. Yes and yes. So round table, around the room, I'll ask this final question. Black women. Oh, actually, wait, before I do that one, let me go to something I saw. Was it Yvette? Okay, wait. Was it Crystal? It was Crystal. Women twerk. Women wear less than when they're thin. But when a heavier woman does it, it's tasteless. I personally think it's tasteless and demeaning on them all. I support Lizzo in her expression that BBW are just as beautiful. So I want to just make sure that we have this conversation, because I know that this is what the media is perpetrating, that it's only not okay because she's a big girl. I don't know if you guys are familiar. She's an actress. Her name is Braylon. I think her name is Braylon Evans. She's a thicker, shorter, Black actress. Beautiful, plump, in all the right places. And I don't personally feel that your size determines whether you're sexy or not. Your confidence determines whether you're sexy or not. How you carry it and how you present it is what determines your level of class and sexy. And there's a way that you can do it. So I don't hate on Lizzo for her confidence. I think it's dope that she has confidence. I don't hate on Lizzo for her talent. I hate, and I don't want to even use the word hate on, because I don't hate on her or hate her at all. I do have a problem with the mammy representation, right? There's a way to be confident and sexual and sassy without being nasty. So, and that's not size specific, because you can have a skinny girl out here doing the same damn thing and it's not cute. That's my 2 cents.
And can
I feel like Lizzo is being seen through this lens as if she's the first plus size Black American woman in entertainment. She's not. We have tons of them. There's Queen Latifah. We had the late Natalie Desselle. We have Gabby Sidibe. We have the I don't know all their names, but there was quite a few of them on Orange is the New Black. We had a couple of them in the Color Purple plays and theater. They're everywhere. I really think seeing and kind of coddling Lizzo, which I'm getting from a lot of this conversation about her, and seeing it as everybody's out to attack her, we need to stop that, because she's not a wounded bird that fell out of a tree. She's a plus size Black entertainer. There are tons of them. I think people have decided they don't want to see her like that. But I don't think if they would want to see Queen Latifah that way either. I don't think they would want to see Gabby doing it. But I also don't think they would want to see Beyonce or Rihanna or anybody else doing it as much either. And again, you have to think about the kids. It's okay to still be supportive to an artist or those that we like to watch on TV and things like that, and saying, okay, what you just did right there is not for me. I'm not okay with that. And I feel like we're looking at everything nowadays, especially in the social climate we're in, through this kind of partisanship where it's one way or the other. No, it's either you agree with me and you agree with this, and even no matter how wrong it is, you agree with it, or else you're canceled. And I don't like the message that's sending, because we have to think about the next generation that's coming up under us, and the fact that they're looking to us to lead them. And I have a lot of nieces, tons of them. I actually have 37 nieces and nephews, 14 nieces out of that 37. No, I don't want them to twerk at a basketball game. Right. I just don't. I think we all can agree to that. And it's okay to still love Lizzo and not agree with that. And that's the point where we need to get to.
Yeah.
And can I
Crystal, you're right. Fat shaming is not okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure, Crystal, fat shaming is not okay at all.
I'm not getting that vibe.
And I don't think with fat shaming. And then just as far as Lizzo, where people's like, oh, it's okay to be confident and she's confident. I don't feel that Lizzo is confident. And that's my issue. I feel that she's doing it for attention. I think she's doing it because it's the exact opposite of confidence. She needs that attention. She needs that attention from people and that validation. So it's kind of like that kid, right? It's that kid that is like annoying. So it's just like, oh my God, like you're so annoying. Like get out of here. I think that's where the majority of us are coming from. It's not because she's confident that and I don't want to say attacking, but that we don't like it. I feel that if she was confident, and you can feel that energy, right? Like we pick up on energies. And I think because we feel that energy of like, she's doing this for attention. Like, and we don't like stuff like that. Like, girl, get out of here. You doing that for attention. Like, put some clothes on. Like, we'll love you anyway. We'll love you just playing. She plays the violin, right? Just playing the violin and singing. Like, we'll love that. But now you're doing too much. And we don't like people that do too much. Like, you are a beautiful woman. You don't have to do all of that. Yeah. So just
beautiful and talented. Beautiful and talented.
Very talented. You don't have to do that.
And smart. You are kind. Smart. You are smart. You are
smart, intelligent.
Yeah. So the thing is, the reason, so Beyonce gets on television very often and she rarely has on clothes. Most of Beyonce's performances are in leotards and she doesn't wear clothes often. Like, I mean, I think they have present to her very fashionable and classy and all those things, but she's in nudity too. She recently had her ass out. And I think what somebody mentioned in the audience is because of Lizzo's size, there's this constant outrage behind it. It's in your face. You can't deny it. It's because of her size. She's keep coming up in conversation. And I haven't even tapped into, is it confidence? I think it's just a part of celebrityism and a part of, the role that she has in fame and as an artist, so it's like this constant outrage. But I think that when I know what people were saying, when Rihanna do it, nobody says anything. And I think almost that's why she keeps doing it. Almost it's out of not the things like I'm being nude at the Lakers game, but things like, I'm going to wear my body however I want to. I'm not going to ask for permission. I'm not going to think about people's kids because I ain't got kids. I'm just going to go out and wear what I want to wear when I want to. And I think it's like, yeah, I don't think I care to think about what people think at this particular time. I haven't kind of sided. Because like when I think about people who do play an instrument, I do think it does require a certain level of intellect, a certain level of mind to play an instrument. You have to learn music. Anytime you learn a new language, that's saying your brain is working. It works. Now, emotional sides of people, that's a whole nother brain, but I kind of feel like there's a little bit of like Lizzo's size is the reason why she keeps coming up in conversation about apparel and self-respect along that side. I'm a more conservative dresser in general. My mother, when growing up in my household, my mother and my grandmother, and this is important too, how we are raised have a big impact on our personality types, how we dress, etc. Right? So when I was growing up, if you were showing a lot of skin, my mother and my grandmother and my aunties, it was like, well, what's going on? Like why are you dressed like that? Because I remember being small enough, maybe in 6th or 7th grade or 8th grade, I was small enough to wear, a tank top. And Aaliyah was out. I want to be like, one in a million too, like I want to wear my tank top. So I remember like going out trying to like wear my tank top, but my mom was like, no. So interesting enough, as a woman, it's natural for me to cover up. I'm not saying that these things are right or wrong, but I'm just saying that these are the kinds of things that mold who we are, our dress style. Now, if my mother was kind of like, put that mini skirt on. Show you, let me see, put that up. I'll probably be sitting over here, boobs out, talking, all of that. Like it would probably be a different Chanel. But because I didn't have that, because being conservative was more on the lines of my mother and my grandmother, that's just not my issue. Sugar is my issue. Like that's my problem. When y'all start talking about addiction and people need to get their life together, it's me and sugar and bread.
That's me. All right, so first of all, let me say thank you to everybody that showed up today. We appreciate you showing up for the Melanated Air Hour. We're going to go ahead and start closing. I'm going to start with Faye because she has to get out of here. She is not only a castingpreneur, an entrepreneur, she is a mompreneur, and that baby's got to get picked up from school. So we're going to let her start so she can say goodbye, and then we'll go back around the room.
I just want to say that I'm glad that we, and I feel that this conversation is going to continue on another day because there is so much to pick apart here in terms of Black women and our, art, realizing the difference between art and exploitation. And I just want to say that we as not only Black women, but Black people, we have the right to demand better and where it pertains to our image. Don't let people gaslight you into thinking that, well, Lizzo's overweight, so let's not. Lil Nas X is gay, so let's not. No, let's. We can still love them and hug them and still say, hey, you're wrong, in the same way that we would do our child and our family members and our other brothers and sisters when they're in the wrong. Once upon a time, doing that wasn't frowned upon, and we need to move away from frowning upon it. We need to move away from gaslighting people into believing that in order to correct and criticize, we need to ask for permission or we need to coddle the people. And we're not a weak people either. So I want to have a conversation on a different day about coddling. It really, really is not good to do because it says that this person is weak. I don't even like people to feel sorry for me when I screw up. Criticize me, tell me when I'm wrong so that I can know what to do right. And I think that that's what we need to make a habit of doing, because we do reserve the right to demand better where it pertains to protecting our image as Black people.
Yes. Go ahead, Keisha.
And just to like piggyback off of Faye, you're right. Like that is love, right? That's not coming after someone or hating someone. When we call these people out for their behavior and we see that they can do better and we say, hey, you should do this, or how about doing this? That's what true love is. True love is not, allowing your people to go down a hole and then drag other people with them, right? And then I just want to touch on the Lizzo comment again about her weight. And someone, I think it was Crystal said, you know, well, talk about the skinny women. And I don't know if you were here earlier in the conversation when I said, like, even me being a smaller woman, there are certain things that I cannot wear because it is not right for my body. It is not flattering for my body. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with saying that, you know, whether you're a size 16 or a 2, you know, like there are just certain things that you shouldn't wear. Like it's not appropriate. So I don't want it to be a fat shaming thing. Like, no, it's an appropriate thing. Like, let's make sure we are wearing what is appropriate for our bodies. So I just wanted to just put that out there. And that's all I have to say about the topic, because we could go on and on and on about this.
Absolutely. Okay, Madam President.
Oh my God. I was trying to read this thing from Asada Shakur, Rhinoceros Woman. So I'll do it next time we have one of these conversations, because Lizzo will have her ass out again. And but one of the things that I just want to say to women, you know, there's a poem by Asada Shakur called Rhinoceros Woman. I think all Black women should read it. And it's just one of those things that I know you're going through the world, people watching you, sometimes ignoring you, sometimes not loving you, but you are a rhinoceros woman. Sometimes some of us come big, we come bold, we come with soul, we come with a lot. And America just gonna have to deal with it, whether you like it or not. In the words of Serena Williams and Daddy, these kids here to stay, Jack. So I think that whatever your skin is, as a person who has, you know, just dealt with a lot in this society, in the workplace, as an athlete, just so many different things. You know, I just come from different perspectives, but you know, I come from the environment too, where, you know, you treat yourself like you love yourself, and you got to demand that thing from others. So, you know, people, I used to tell this to people too, and I'm gonna let it go, Lene, but I used to tell, when I was in college, I used to tell some of the young ladies, you know, back in the day before, prostitution is illegal. So the way that prostitutes used to let people know that they were prostitutes is through nudity. They used to have to dress like a prostitute so that people could approach them. So sometimes if you find yourself being dressed like a prostitute, don't be surprised you being approached like one, because that's where it comes from. So I think that we should be cognizant and have a sense of awareness about self at all times. But I do think that a lot of Black women, you know, and men, because I know men be like, y'all just act like we don't exist. Black women and men go through a lot in this country. And I just think that, you know, we are with you in this process. So we get stronger and go further together.
Yes. All right, Miss Teddy.
I'll just quickly say, Black men, we're going to talk about y'all, stand up for your Black women. Black women, stand up for yourself. And don't let anyone make you feel less than. Be bold in your conversation. Be bold in your intelligence. Be bold in the way you project yourself. Don't be bold by demeaning yourself. And if you're not looking flattering to yourself, don't go outside. I doubt Lizzo looked in the mirror and said, that's hot with them titties. I just doubt it. I doubt it. I've nursed two babies for almost 2 years apiece, okay? I know what mine look like. If she ain't had no babies, and I see what hers look like, okay? So be bold in your expression of the beauty of yourself. Don't play into an image that ain't yours. I could go on. Like you said, I could go on, but we need to love ourselves. I love working with you ladies because y'all have so much good vision and perspective. It has got me thinking, and I'm sitting here like, tell it, honey. So I love it. Love you ladies. But we got to protect ourselves. Black men, you got to protect us. So the next video I see going viral about that bus needs to be a Black man saying, we will not tolerate this. And throw some paint on it, graffiti on it. Instead of graffitiing the neighborhood, graffiti that damn bus and the boats and the bus stations.
Yes.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first, folks. Go out there and vandalize.
Let's get it now.
and don't be out there vandalizing unless you do it because you want to, not because you work here.
You grown.
You're grown, exactly. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and close because my light is just, it's like, no, ma'am, you're going to get 37 seconds. That's all you got. So you got to close in this 37 seconds because I'm about to go back off. So with that in mind, thank you so much for tuning into the Melanated Air Hour. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. We're on multiple different pages. We're on Fly Newbie and Queen. We're on Your Black World. We're on I Love Being a Black Woman. We're on Ladies Who Love the Lord. We're on Financial Juneteenth. We're on, I think I've said them all. There's somewhere I may not have mentioned. So make sure you like us, follow us, share, subscribe. Also, go to each one of our pages, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You can find Teddy at The Real Teddy Talks. You can find Faye Bishop at Miss Faye Bishop. You can find Keisha at We Inspire Brand. You can find Madam President at One Madam President with a Z. Make sure you put the Z. Don't forget that. You can find Lene. You can find me. That's me. I am Lene Jabet. I am Lene Jabet. There goes the light. But I told y'all 37 seconds. With that, we bid you farewell. You guys have a beautifully blessed Black weekend this weekend. And we will see you guys back here on Tuesday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. Peace.
Bye, y'all.